Hey fam, welcome back. Today I'm talking about something very solemn, but I think it's crucial and very important, and it's grief. Grief is one of the hardest parts of being human. I always tell my friends one of the hardest parts of being becoming an adult, but then it's something we have to deal with, and I think it's super important because it reminds us of our humanity and our shared humanity and our shared future. Yeah, and I wanted to talk about in the context of relationships. Two of the very close people to me lost a parent and just went through the holidays um without a parent for the very first time, and that was quite hard. And I was thinking of how people respond to helping their significant other through grief, and how really crucial it is. I've spoken about it when my podcast was just audio. You can find it on Spotify, but I thought to bring it to YouTube and have the conversation again. It's super important to go through hard times with your partner as it is to go through good times with them. I feel like ghosting and running away is such a mediocre way to handle stuff. Um, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say." After this video, that excuse is no longer valid. If you have a partner going through grief, you want to sit back and learn how you can help them navigate that season in their lives. The very first thing I'd say is be present. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to know what to say. Just come, be present. Sometimes you can just walk into their homes, walk into where they are, and give them a hug. And they know in that moment that they are loved. They know in that moment that you're present. They know in that moment you're there for them. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be there, sit with them, be still. You see, there's a man in the Bible called Job. He had gone through so much loss, significant dimensions of loss in his life, and he had his friends come to be with him after they had heard what happened to him. And fam, guess what? They stayed there for 7 days without saying a word, just sitting with him in his heart seizing. And I feel like that's so powerful. That's such a touching gesture. So you might just want to sit with your friend or sit with your partner and be silent. You don't really have to say a thing. Secondly, listen more and speak less. I know there is a temptation. I am Nigerian. There is a temptation to really just be talking when your partner or when your loved one is going through grief. There's that temptation to want to say things, but I think it's more helpful if you're silent. Listen if they want to speak, but say less, have less comments. Don't go about encouraging the Nigerian attitude to explain away chaos and explain away you know grief. Just be silent, talk less. Don't. And if they are grieving something, maybe the loss of an opportunity or the loss of a job, you don't want to be the one saying I told you so. Like, cease and desist from such character, especially when it's very painful, when it's very hard. You want to be very careful what you say, because is when somebody is grieving, it's like they have a raw wound in their soul. It's very raw, and what you say can either be soothing over that wound, or it can, rubbing more salt, more pepper, more injury to that wound. So you want to be careful with your words, you want to be careful with what you say, you want to be very intentional to ensure that you're not causing more pain. You're helping them through that season. The third thing I'll say is show grace. Show grace. Everybody deals with grief differently. Everybody navigates hard seasons differently. Because your friend is not or your sorry, I keep saying your friend. Because your partner is not doing responding the way you would have responded doesn't mean they're not grieving. For some people, the person might be crying a whole lot more than you would cry. Doesn't mean that something's wrong. Just let them grieve the way they know how to show grace. For some people, the person might not be crying and you're just wondering, babe, this thing just happened to you. This is very traumatic. Why are you not crying? you know, show grace. In every season, show grace. Do not judge how they choose to grieve. I think it's very valid to have that at the back of your mind. Refuse to judge how they choose to grieve. How they choose to grieve is a function of their experiences and their personality and the kind of person that they are. So show grace and actually be okay with how they have chosen to grieve who they have just lost. Fourth is offer some occasional distraction, play a game, take them on a walk, help them do something to let out some of the energy. Um, You sometimes you might want to help them change their environment. You might just say, okay, I'm taking you here. Let's go sit in the garden or let's go sit in the park. Just change the environment. Just offer some occasional distraction. You don't want to be constantly doing that. But I think like when it the grieving phases has shifted maybe from the very raw moments where the incident just happened, maybe a week or two later, you want to take them on walks, you want to, get them to, do something with you, go to the park or just sit out, change their environment, change where they have been, change the place that they've been sitting in that, probably is very dense, very moody, and just help them to get some air. So that can be a way you can help. And if they are not open to that, I think you should be open to letting it go. You see, don't force them and be like, I'm trying to get you, some distraction, you must get, no. Sometimes it can be in the midst of the whole energy, the mood down, you might just crack a joke and they would laugh. So do something, to just help them get some occasional distraction. That can be helpful. Number five is acts of service. There is nobody who is grieving who doesn't appreciate this. Take something off of them. Sometimes grief and the whole process of trauma, it happens in the midst of life. So maybe your partner might be running a business, they might be doing something, and in the middle of that, executing a project, they lose their loved one. So you want to take that off them. Maybe they were supposed to make some deliveries. You want to take it over and do the deliveries. Maybe there's something you can do in the business that they run. You want to take it over for them. Just take some burden off of them. Or you come to the house of someone who is grieving. The place is messy. They are not cleaning. Their laundry is piling. You don't want to be judging them. Do the laundry. Do the laundry, cook. Where I'm from the northern part, or you could call it the middle belt of Nigeria and Plateau State. Whenever somebody dies, you need to see community show up. I'm telling you, they show up to your house, they're helping you with with cleaning, helping you, they bring meals, they bring meals for so long, I think over a week or two, and you don't have to cook, so you find your community show up for you. I think those things are very loud. They are very helpful way, because when somebody is grieving, the last thing on their mind is how to go to the kitchen and cook. And if you're able to provide meals for them, it might even encourage them to eat when they would have otherwise not eaten because they didn't want to cook. So those kind of things go a long way, helping them with work. Some people, they are helping them cover up in their business, can go a long way, and they would really appreciate you for a long time to come because you're able to do that for them. So acts of service, show some kindness, do take some chores off of their hands and do those things that are really little that would mean a lot to them. Number six is don't crowd them. As much as you're present and you're silent, there are times where you might want to leave them alone, give them their space, protect their space, don't allow other people to encroach on their space if they really want to be left alone. You need to understand. And if somebody is your partner, you kind of understand to a significant extent their personality, disposition. You might know that, oh, this person might not necessarily want to be crowded. So as much as you're being present, you might be sitting in the living room while you let them be in the bedroom. You see, you don't have to now say, okay, I'm here, so I'm going to sit with you in the bedroom. No, you might want to give them their space, don't crowd them, and respond to who they are and their disposition. Number seven, respond to their needs in that season. They might have peculiar needs that they would necessarily maybe not want to be so invasive about and bothering other people about. But if they're able to open up to you, you want to respond to those needs. You see, you want to go ahead, provide. Maybe they want you to help with groceries, or want you to just sit with them. They want you to just be present. Respond to what it is that they need in that season. They want you to help you rally their friends, or you want to even take off funeral burdens from them if they have those responsibilities, and help them do the running around and the heavy lifting. This goes a long, long way. So here are like 7 ways you can be there for your partner in their grief. And so you no longer have the excuse that you do not know how to be there for your partner, your friend. This applies, I think, to your friends as well. In moments or seasons of their grief. And I'm wishing you the very best. This is me leaving you with love and light. You want to check out other videos I made a video last week telling you how you could set up your relationship to thrive in 2025. You want to make sure that you check that out. I'll link it here, and have an amazing, amazing weekend. Bye.